Have you ever met someone whose focus was so strong it almost scared you? Someone who didn't talk too much, didn't show off, didn't waste time. They just worked? You could feel their energy when they entered the room. It wasn't loud or flashy, but it was powerful, like calm fire. That's what real discipline looks like. It's not about shouting, showing, or seeking attention. It's quiet, it's cold, it's unstoppable. Today, my friend, we are going to talk about the scariest level of discipline, the kind that changes your life completely, the kind that makes people wonder, what happened to you? Because you become a different person, calm, controlled, and focused. It's scary not because it's dangerous, but because it's rare. Very few people ever reach it. So let's dive deep. Stay with me till the end. Because by the time we finish, you'll understand what real discipline truly means and how you can build it in your own life. 1. The meaning of true discipline. Most people think discipline is something simple, like waking up early, going to the gym, or keeping a schedule. They think discipline means doing a few productive things every day, or having a clean routine that looks impressive on social media. But my friend, real discipline goes much deeper than that. It's not just about what you do. It's about who you become. True discipline is not visible on the outside. It's invisible. It lives inside your mind. In the quiet moments when no one is watching, when no one will praise you, and when you have every excuse to quit. That's when your true level of discipline is revealed. It's easy to be consistent when things feel exciting, when everything is going your way, and when motivation is high. But discipline is about what you do when motivation is gone. When you're tired, bored, or uninspired. That's where strength is born. You see, your mind always wants comfort. It says, take a break. It says, you've done enough today. It says, you'll do it tomorrow. And that's where most people lose. They let their feelings decide their actions. They let comfort control their destiny. But the truly disciplined person has learned to say, no. They understand that emotions are temporary, but results are permanent. They know that if they listen to every lazy thought, they'll never grow. True discipline is when you do what's necessary even when you don't feel like it. You train your body when you're tired. You study when you're distracted. You work when no one is clapping for you. You keep going when no one believes in you. You don't wait for the perfect time because you know it doesn't exist. You just move forward, step by step, day by day. Every person dreams of success. Success in life, success in career, success in relationships. Everyone wants the results, the confidence, the peace, the freedom. But only a few are willing to pay the price every single day. That price is discipline. It's the quiet pain of doing what others refuse to do. It's the small choices you make when no one notices. It's saying no to short-term pleasure for the sake of long-term purpose. When you master discipline, something amazing happens. You stop chasing motivation. You don't need videos, quotes, or other people to push you. You become your own engine. Your own actions start inspiring you. You no longer depend on how you feel. You depend on who you've decided to become. That's power. So if you ever wonder how strong your discipline is, ask yourself this. Can I move forward when I don't feel like it? Because that's the real test. The scariest level of discipline begins there. When you can silence your excuses, rise from your emotions, and take action anyway. That's not just discipline, my friend. That's mastery. And once you reach that level, nothing in the world can stop you. 2. The quiet monster. Doing what others won't. Let me tell you something powerful, my friend. The scariest people in the world are not the loudest, the strongest, or the richest. They are the quiet ones. The ones who keep showing up every single day, no matter how they feel. They don't talk too much about their goals. They don't brag about their plans, and they don't seek attention. They just work. They move in silence, and their results make all the noise. That's what true consistency looks like, and that's what makes them truly dangerous. While others are sleeping, they are learning. When others are gossiping, they are practicing. When others are making excuses, they are executing. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They create it through discipline and focus. They understand something most people never learn: that greatness is not built in big moments, but in small, quiet hours of effort that no one ever sees. The disciplined person doesn't need applause. They don't need likes, followers, or validation. Their satisfaction doesn't come from attention. It comes from progress. Every time they take a small step forward, they feel stronger. Every time they complete a task no one else wanted to do, they grow more powerful. They don't work to impress others. They work to impress their future self. And the most fascinating thing is, they never announce what they're doing. They don't talk about their dreams. They chase them. They don't post about their grind. They live it. While others spend time explaining, they spend time executing. And then one day, they rise so high that everyone around them starts wondering, how did they do it? But by then, it's too late to catch up. Because while others were talking, the quiet ones were building. You see, when discipline becomes part of your identity, your daily habits turn into your secret weapons. You start making decisions not from emotion, but from logic. You stop reacting to life like a victim and start responding like a leader. You no longer say yes to every invitation, every distraction, or every comfort. You say no to anything that weakens you, even when it's tempting. That's what separates the strong from the average. To reach this level of scary discipline, you must become comfortable with being alone. Most people can't handle silence. They always need noise, something to distract them from themselves. But if you want to rise, you must learn to walk your own path even when no one supports you. You must become your own best friend, your own motivator, your own coach. Because at the end of the day, discipline means freedom. It means you are not controlled by your emotions. You control them. You don't act based on how you feel. You act based on what must be done. That's real power. Calm, quiet, and unshakable. That's why the most disciplined people are the most feared. They don't need to prove anything. They just do what others won't. And that's what makes them unstoppable. 3. The war inside you. The greatest battle you will ever fight in your life is not against the world. It's not against your competition, your circumstances, or your critics. The biggest battle is inside your own mind. Every day, from the moment you wake up, that war begins. The fight between what you feel like doing and what you know you must do. Your mind is like a wild animal. It doesn't like being controlled. It resists discipline. It seeks comfort, pleasure, and distraction because that's easy. But the easy path never leads to strength, And that's why the disciplined person must learn to tame the mind. Your mind will always try to protect you from discomfort. It will whisper, "You can do it later." It will tell you that you deserve a break, that you've done enough for today, that success can wait. But discipline doesn't listen to those voices. Discipline listens to purpose. It's the art of training your mind to obey your goals, not your emotions. And that's where the real growth happens. When you stop being a slave to your feelings and start becoming the master of your actions. Think about the mornings when your alarm rings and your body says, "Sleep." In that moment, a silent battle begins. The weak side of you wants to stay in bed. It looks for excuses. Maybe you'll start tomorrow. Maybe you'll just rest a little more. But the strong side, the disciplined side, whispers, "Get up. Do what you said you'd do." That one decision, that tiny moment of choosing discipline over comfort, shapes your day, and eventually, your destiny. Every single day, you're feeding one of two wolves, laziness or discipline. The one you feed grows stronger. If you feed laziness with excuses, with comfort, with delay, it starts to control you. You begin to lose power over your own choices. But if you feed discipline, if you push through resistance, if you act when it's hard, if you honor your commitments, you become stronger. You gain control over yourself, and that's the highest form of freedom a human can have. The war inside you doesn't end. It happens every morning, every night, in every small choice. Do you scroll your phone or read a page of a book? Do you talk about your dreams or take one small step toward them? Every time you choose the harder right instead of the easier wrong, you win another battle. It might seem small, but each victory builds a stronger version of you. The scariest level of discipline is when you start winning that war quietly. You don't complain about how hard it is. You don't post about your struggle or seek sympathy. You just do what needs to be done. No audience, no validation, just pure commitment. That's when you become powerful. Because the truth is, it's you versus you. And the moment you decide you will not lose to your weaker self, that's when everything changes. The war never ends, but you become a warrior who never stops fighting. 4. The price of greatness. Every dream, every goal, and every great achievement in life has a price tag. But here's the truth that most people don't want to hear. That price tag doesn't say money. It says discipline. The world is full of talented people, full of dreamers and thinkers, but very few of them ever reach their full potential. Why? Not because they lack skill or opportunity, but because they don't want to pay the real price, the price of consistency, sacrifice, and self-control. The reason so many people remain average is simple. They want comfort more than greatness. They want results without the pain, recognition without the effort, and progress without the process. But success doesn't work that way. Every meaningful goal demands a piece of you. Your time, your focus, your energy, your patience. And only those who are willing to give those things day after day rise above the rest. The disciplined ones understand this truth deeply. They wake up when others are sleeping. They practice when no one is watching. They keep learning when others have stopped growing. They work silently while the world is distracted by entertainment and comfort. They don't need an audience to keep going. Their vision is enough. They see the future they want, and they know it's not free. So they pay for it, one hard day at a time. That's why real discipline often looks scary. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting. It's not full of fun or freedom. It's full of small, boring, invisible sacrifices, the kind that no one sees, but everyone notices when the results appear. Discipline means staying up late to study while your friends are out. It means saying no to junk food when everyone else is eating it. It means staying focused on your purpose when the world is trying to pull you away. And because of that, people will misunderstand you. They'll call you boring. They'll say, "Why are you so serious? Why don't you relax?" But deep down, they'll also feel something else. Respect. Because even if they don't admit it, they can see something in you that they don't have. Control. Control is rare in a world full of distractions. Most people are slaves to their moods, desires, and impulses. But the disciplined ones are different. They might look calm, even quiet, but inside they are unshakable. They are not driven by emotions. They are guided by purpose. Their peace comes not from doing everything they want, but from knowing they are doing what they must. That's the price of greatness. Giving up what's easy to gain what's meaningful. And while most people will avoid paying it, the few who do will live the life others only dream about. Because in the end, it's not the talented, the lucky, or the popular who win. It's the disciplined. Those who were willing to suffer a little now so they could shine forever later. That is the real cost of greatness, and only the brave are willing to pay it. 5. The loneliness of the focused. When you start becoming truly disciplined, life begins to change in quiet but powerful ways. Suddenly, the things that once entertained you no longer excite you. The people who used to surround you may not understand you anymore. You'll start seeing the world differently, not through the lens of comfort, but through the lens of purpose. And that shift will make you different. Not better, not arrogant, just different. But in that difference lies the price every focused person must pay: loneliness. At first, it might confuse you. You'll wonder why people start drifting away, why you no longer feel like you belong in certain groups, why conversations that once seemed fun now feel meaningless. You'll lose some friends, not because you pushed them away, but because your paths are now moving in different directions. You'll realize that discipline doesn't just change your schedule, it changes your energy. And people who are not growing will not always understand your growth. You'll stop wasting hours on gossip, useless scrolling, and empty distractions. You'll stop saying yes to every invitation just to fit in. You'll stop chasing approval from people who don't even care about your dreams. Instead, you'll begin to value your time deeply. You'll sit alone, working, thinking, planning, creating. While others laugh and relax, you'll be building. While they chase attention, you'll chase progress. And yes, it will feel lonely at times. But here's the truth. Loneliness is the cost of self-mastery. The disciplined ones don't fear being alone. They use it to grow. They understand that silence is not emptiness. It's space for clarity. In solitude, they find themselves. They turn silence into strength and boredom into focus. They don't need noise to feel alive. They find peace in purpose. Because when the world quiets down, that's when you hear your true voice. And that voice, if you listen carefully, will guide you toward your highest potential. Every great person you admire, from athletes to creators to leaders, has walked through that same tunnel of loneliness. The world called them obsessed, strange, or crazy. They were mocked for working when others played. They were judged for saying no when others said yes. But that obsession, that focus, that isolation, it built their empire. It's easy to laugh at someone who's focused, but it's hard to ignore them once they succeed. So don't fear the loneliness. Embrace it. It's a sign that you're growing beyond the ordinary. The nights you spend working while others sleep are shaping you into someone rare, someone powerful. You're not missing out. You're preparing for something greater. When you walk this path, you'll learn that solitude isn't your enemy. It's your greatest teacher. It teaches you patience, resilience, and independence. It teaches you that peace doesn't come from being surrounded by people. It comes from being aligned with your purpose. So, if you ever feel alone on your journey, smile. Because that's where your new life truly begins. In the quiet, focused, disciplined moments that no one sees but that change everything. 6. The power of routine. People often ask, what's the secret to success? Expecting a magical answer, something mysterious or hidden. But the truth is simple and timeless. Routine. Your routine is the invisible architect of your future. Every single day, whether you realize it or not, your actions are shaping who you are becoming. You are always casting votes, with every choice, every habit, every moment. And those small daily votes decide whether you will live a life of greatness or regret. If you want to be strong, your habits must reflect strength. If you want to be rich, your habits must reflect discipline. If you want to be wise, your habits must reflect focus. Success is never built overnight. It is built brick by brick through the things you repeat every single day. The truth is, the scariest and most powerful level of discipline isn't about doing something huge once. It's about doing small, meaningful things consistently, even when nobody is watching, even when you don't feel like it. Think about it. Waking up early, planning your day, exercising, reading, practicing your craft, reflecting, sleeping on time. These are not extraordinary actions on their own. But when you repeat them day after day, they create extraordinary results. Routine is what turns ordinary people into extraordinary performers. It's what transforms chaos into order, dreams into reality, and potential into power. Most people never understand this. They want change, but they don't want to change their habits. They want the success story, but not the daily discipline that writes it. They want the result, not the routine. But you can't skip the process and expect the reward. The truth is, success doesn't come from doing things once in a while. It comes from doing the right things every day, whether you're motivated or not. Real winners are different. They fall in love with the process. They know that motivation is temporary, but discipline is forever. They don't wait for the right mood. They create momentum through action. They understand that their routine is not a prison. It's a path. A path that gives structure, clarity, and consistency in a world full of distractions. They know that if they master their days, they will master their destiny. When your daily routine becomes your lifestyle, you've already won. You stop chasing motivation because discipline becomes your default. You no longer depend on external approval because your habits build internal confidence. Each day becomes a small victory that moves you closer to your vision. Remember this: Greatness is not about intensity. It's about consistency. You don't need to do everything perfectly. You just need to show up every day, do your best, and trust the process. A good routine protects your energy, sharpens your focus, and reminds you what truly matters. So build one that aligns with your dreams. Because your future is not decided by luck. It's decided by what you do daily. Your routine is your real superpower. Guard it, grow it, and let it guide you toward the life you want. 7. The emotionless phase. Now we enter the scariest part of discipline, the emotionless phase. This is not about becoming cold or heartless. It's about reaching a level of control so deep that emotions no longer rule your actions. It's the moment when you stop being a slave to your moods and start being the master of your mission. Most people live their lives reacting to stress, to opinions, to failure, to approval. But those who rise above that noise live with calm focus. They have trained their minds to move with purpose, not impulse. At this level, something changes inside you. You stop getting angry so easily. You stop chasing excitement. You no longer allow small problems to disturb your peace. You begin to understand that emotions are temporary, but your purpose is permanent. You stop living by how you feel and start living by what must be done. This is when true discipline takes form. Not when you're motivated, but when you're tired, bored, unappreciated, and still choose to do what's necessary. The emotionless phase is not about suppressing feelings. It's about mastering them. You still feel joy, pain, love, and fear, but they don't control your direction anymore. You've learned to pause before reacting, to think before speaking, to act before complaining. You've developed a kind of quiet strength that confuses people who are addicted to emotional chaos. They don't understand how you stay calm when life gets hard, or why you're not desperate for attention. But the truth is simple. You've built emotional power through discipline. People around you might start saying, "You've changed." And they're right. You have. You've evolved from emotional to intentional. You no longer need constant validation. You don't chase people who don't value you. You don't explain your peace to those who enjoy drama. You've realized that silence is more powerful than shouting, and consistency is more powerful than excitement. This calm focus you carry is not weakness. It's strength in its purest form. At this stage, you stop living for the world and start living for your vision. You stop measuring your worth by reactions and start measuring it by results. You no longer seek energy from external noise. Your energy comes from your inner purpose. Every morning, you wake up not because you feel like it, but because it needs to be done. You understand that emotions may visit, but they are not meant to stay. They pass like waves. But your purpose remains the ocean beneath. This is the scariest level of discipline because it makes you untouchable. People can no longer control you through manipulation, praise, or criticism. You're free, truly free. You operate with quiet precision, detached from drama, focused on creation. You've become the calm in the storm, not the chaos within it. And that's what terrifies the weak-minded. Because emotional control is the highest form of power. So when you reach this phase, embrace it. You haven't lost emotion. You've gained command. You're no longer driven by what you feel. You're guided by what you know must be done. That's when discipline becomes a lifestyle. and you become unstoppable. 8. The beauty behind the pain. Discipline is not punishment, it's preparation. Many people misunderstand it. They think discipline means taking joy out of life, forcing yourself to live like a machine, or cutting off every bit of fun. But the truth is far from that. Discipline is the art of choosing your future over your present comfort. It's the invisible work that builds visible greatness. Every sacrifice you make, every distraction you resist, every morning you rise when you don't feel like it, all of it is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and freer. Every act of discipline plants a seed inside you. At first, you don't see anything. You keep watering, you keep working, and sometimes it feels like nothing is happening. You might even question yourself. Is it worth it? But that's how growth works, quietly, slowly, invisibly. Then, one day, you look back and realize how far you've come. You see the results not just in what you've achieved, but in who you've become. You realize that every boring day, every lonely hour, every moment you push through was worth it. Because those were the days that built your character. Discipline is not about suffering forever. It's about suffering once so you can live free later. You suffer once when you train your body, but that pain gives you strength. You suffer once when you study, but that effort gives you knowledge. You suffer once when you save money, but that sacrifice gives you financial freedom. You suffer once when you build focus, but that struggle gives you peace of mind. The pain is temporary, but the rewards last for years. That's the beauty behind discipline. It transforms temporary pain into permanent power. Right now, if you're struggling to stay consistent, if you feel exhausted or frustrated, good. That means you're growing. Growth doesn't feel comfortable. It burns, it stretches, it breaks your limits. Transformation never happens in comfort zones. It happens in the moments you want to quit, but don't. It happens in the silence when no one is clapping for you, yet you keep going anyway. That's where the magic is. In the unseen, uncelebrated effort. Discipline is like building a diamond. A diamond starts as a piece of carbon. It becomes valuable only after it's crushed under pressure, heated, and refined. That's exactly how life refines you. Every challenge, every failure, every disciplined choice, it's all shaping your inner diamond. The process may be painful, but the outcome is priceless. So don't fear the pain. Embrace it. Because pain is a sign that you're moving forward, not backward. Most people run away from discomfort and end up stuck in the same place. But you're learning to face it, to work through it, to grow because of it. And that's what separates the dreamers from the doers. One day, you'll thank yourself for not quitting. You'll smile at the version of you who endured, who showed up, who chose growth over comfort. That's when you'll understand. Discipline was never the enemy. It was the teacher, the sculptor, and the silent friend that helped you become who you were meant to be. That's the real beauty behind the pain. 9. Becoming unbreakable. Here's a truth that most people fail to understand. The world does not belong to the talented. Talent is fragile. Talent shines when conditions are perfect, when opportunities are easy, when life is comfortable. But the world belongs to the disciplined. Discipline is durable. Discipline endures. Discipline thrives when everything else is falling apart. because life is not a smooth path. It is full of challenges, setbacks, and storms. And when those storms hit, talent alone is not enough to keep you moving forward. Only discipline can. When life hits you with problems, when circumstances seem impossible, discipline keeps you standing. When everyone doubts you, discipline keeps you focused. When your emotions try to control your actions, discipline keeps you calm. Discipline is not loud or showy. It does not demand recognition. It is quiet, patient, and relentless. It works behind the scenes, day after day, building strength, resilience, and power. And the most terrifying thing about disciplined people is that their strength is invisible until it is unstoppable. The scariest people in any field are not the loudest, the flashiest, or the most popular. They are the quiet ones who never stop. They don't complain, they don't explain, and they don't seek attention. They simply keep going, even when the world says no, even when everyone else gives up. They rise steadily, silently, and inevitably. You can't break someone who doesn't quit. You can't distract someone who has unwavering purpose. You can't beat someone who is committed to the long game, because their focus is unshakable, their patience infinite, and their resilience unbreakable. Becoming unbreakable is not about being invincible. It's about being consistent. It's about showing up when you don't feel like it. It's about doing the hard things that others avoid. It's about training your mind, your body, and your spirit to withstand challenges and setbacks without losing direction. Every obstacle you face, every hardship you endure, every failure you overcome strengthens you. Discipline turns trials into armor, making you stronger with every challenge. When you reach this level of scary discipline, you realize that life cannot control you. You control your response to life. You are no longer a victim of circumstance, opinion, or emotion. You live by purpose, not impulse. You take the long view, playing a game that others cannot even see. And in this space, you become untouchable. You become someone the world underestimates at first, only to be amazed at the unstoppable force you've become. That is the ultimate power of discipline. It makes you unbreakable. Talent fades, motivation wavers, luck disappears, but discipline endures. It's the quiet monster inside you that never quits, never complains, and never backs down. The disciplined person is not always noticed, but when they emerge, they dominate. They rise above chaos, remain calm under pressure, and achieve what others thought impossible. That is the terrifying, unstoppable force of scary discipline. And that is what allows you to become truly unbreakable. 10. Final words. Be the one they fear to compare with. My friend, if you truly want to change your life, stop chasing motivation. Motivation is temporary. A spark that lights up briefly and fades away when life gets hard. Discipline, on the other hand, is the fire that never goes out. It doesn't depend on how you feel. It doesn't disappear when challenges appear. Motivation will abandon you when you're tired, when circumstances are difficult, or when results don't show immediately. But discipline? Discipline stands tall even when you're broken, when you feel weak, and when the world seems to be against you. From today, start training your mind like a warrior. Begin with small promises to yourself, and never, ever break them. Wake up early, keep your word, finish what you start. Show up every day, even when no one is watching. At English Achieve, We talk a lot about building habits that last, and this is the essence of that teaching. Every small act of discipline compounds over time, and before you know it, the version of yourself you once dreamed about becomes your reality. Stay consistent, my friend. Discipline is not about dramatic gestures or extreme effort in short bursts. It's about showing up when you don't feel like it, doing the hard things others avoid, and keeping your focus even when distractions scream for your attention. It's about mastering yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, until you are no longer swayed by whims or feelings. When you live by discipline rather than desire, you unlock a level of power most people will never see. The day you stop being controlled by your feelings and start being guided by your discipline, that is the day you become unstoppable. People will notice your calm. They will notice your focus. They will notice your quiet strength. And they will say, "This person is different. This person is scary." Not because you have hurt anyone, not because you are loud or aggressive, but because you have mastered yourself in a way few ever do. That, my friend, is the scariest level of discipline you will ever see. The kind that turns ordinary people into legends and dreams into reality.